Michael Doxtater, a Mohawk Turtle Clan from Six Nations Indian Reserve, number 40, near Brantford, Ontario. And my Indian name is Tohahoga, which means he's near the road. And I have a PhD from Cornell University. I studied at Master University of History of Science, and I have a long career in teaching and learning that includes storytelling in various media. They would call people who do the work I do a grassroots organizer at the community level. And my work began on the Six Nations Reserve when there became apparent that the old schools that Indian Affairs had built 100 years ago had a lot of building materials was asbestos. And as in 1988, the asbestos issue arose in the schools at Six Nations, and the community organized around that event had me as one of the community organizers that organized the people of Six Nations to pull all 1,000 students and have a school strike out of the schools. That was 1,000 elementary students out of 12 schools on Six Nations. The result of all of that was that all the old schools are torn down now, and they were replaced with brand new construction. O.M. Smith School, Emily C. General School, and I.L. Thomas schools were all the schools that were created by the community saying asbestos in the schools is something that we don't want, and so they pulled the kids out. The irony of all that is that part of my work that led me into conflict and dispute resolution is the whole scenario that came out of that, which was the government had their experts lined up. Health Canada saying 0.005 parts per million asbestos is legislated standard, and then on our side, geneticists and people working in workers' clinics and so on saying, well, 0.050 is actually should be the level because that is what's in the schools. And so one thing we learned, we're at an impasse when everybody lines up their experts. The only way you can make a status quo move is you got to push a page right out of Saul Alinsky Reveille for Radicals, right? So that's when parents pulled the students out of the schools and had a school boycott. They boycotted the schools for the whole autumn of 1988. That's where it started. After that, people came knocking on my door and they said, they're making a landfill site behind my house. They've clear cut all the forest, and we know that they're going to be turning it in. They say it's a recycling plant, but we know it's going to be a landfill site. Can you help us? So I helped organize that, and so on. It went on from there. The during Oka, the Oka Food Bank was one of the projects that came out of that, where we took 50 tons of food down to Gunnesadauga during 1990. And that's my background in terms of being a grassroots organizer at the community level, which is to get disputants. Let's calm down here now. What is it that we're really talking about here?